First of all, before we get started, rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. Both are very iconic people, and we lost them in the same week. RIP. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Just Jake Reviews, where I review albums, movies, and sports games, which we'll get to that very, very soon. Today, we are back with another video. It's been a while, but I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to be straight up. I had writer's block. I had no clue what video to do or what to make on before the offseason, because the offseason is still going on. A week until the Hall of Fame game, which I'll do something for that on YouTube. But for now, I was like, you know what? I've been really into this album for the past few days. Might as well review it. And I understand that a few videos ago, I already made an album review of a Black Sabbath album. Please go hit that video up in honor of Ozzy. And today I'm reviewing another classic album. Now this album, unlike Paranoid, is an album that I have heard plenty of times, and it's actually one of my favorite comfort albums. I love hearing this album from start to finish. This album means a lot to me. And yeah, one of my favorite albums of all time. I'm talking about Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. So let's get into it. The Dark Side of the Moon is the 8th studio album by the English rock band Pink Floyd, released on March 1st, 1973 by Capitol Records in the US and on March 16th, 1973 by Harvest Records in the UK. Developed during live performances before recording began, it was conceived as a concept album that would focus on the pressures faced by the band during their arduous lifestyle and also deal with the mental health problems of the former band member Syd Barrett, who had departed the group in 1968. New material was recorded in 2 sessions in 1972 and 1973 at EMI Studios, which is now, of course, Abbey Road Studios, in London. Now, with this album, it is kind of difficult, at least I think, to really give the term concept album to this album when the same group has the album The Wall, which is a very, very insane concept album. And some might also argue you have Wish You Were Here, which is a pretty good story, and you also have albums like Animals, and I mean, even I think The Final Cut is probably a little bit of a concept album, but I'm not really a huge fan of that album. But yeah, I heard this album last night for the first time in a little bit, and I was like, holy crap, this album's insane. Then I heard it again literally this morning. I heard it twice in 2 days to prepare for this video, because I actually have nothing written down. This is going off the top of my head, because it's not that hard of an album. 10 songs, 42 minutes. Once again, not a lot of songs on this album, but that does not mean this album is near perfect. This album is literally a near perfect album. 10 songs, but they put so much into these 10 songs. Like with the intro, you have Speak to Me, which is only like a minute long, and it's just an intro to get you leading into Breathe in the Air, which is, not really a song to play, like really, Speak to Me is just, an intro. Breathe in the Air, amazing, amazing song. One of the more, just like laid back tracks to do this and just to chill. I absolutely love the lyrics on this song. Just basically a song, I feel like, just about living your best life and just, breathe in the air. And I do think Roger and can't think of the other guy's name. I forget the other guy's name. But Roger and, yeah, Roger, good job. Now, you hear Breathe in the Air, which is one of the best songs on the album. It definitely is. And then it leads right into On the Run, track 3. Now, On the Run, this track is supposed to give you anxiety, which for me, I will say, it kind of does. Now, I actually heard stories out there that exist that the band members themselves can't actually, agree on what this song actually means. Is it about a fear of flying, so it gives you anxiety? The song basically sounds like you're running in the airport to try to not miss the gate you're at, so like you're rushing, which is a very, very good idea of that. Then you got Time, which is one of the best songs of all time. Literally, this is a perfect song. This is the most important song on the album, in my opinion. This is probably the best song on the album. This is actually what I think is Pink Floyd's best song they've ever made, ever. It's not my favorite song by them, but it's definitely their best song they've ever made. I mean, just some of these, vocals and lyrics are so haunting. I mean, racing around to come up behind you again. Sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older. Shorter of breath and one day closer to death. Let's see. This one right here. And you are tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. And you are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. Damn. Wow. Is that poetry or poetry? I don't know. But then we have track 5, which, oh my gosh, The Great Gig in the Sky. I mean, do I gotta say anything else? Like, it's that. It's that. Money's a fun song. Money's a very, very fun song. I'd probably say it's the catchiest song on this entire album, and it's obviously the most streamed song on the album. Obviously, I love it's kind of similar to Time, where at the beginning you hear all those clocks ticking, and Money has, like the cash register, the coins. Computers weren't a thing. They actually did that. Time, I think he actually went into an antique clock store, and they actually did that with all the clocks, which is awesome. Still sounds great in 2025 today. Money's fun. I actually Googled yesterday what like the more in-depth story of this song, and I think this song gives off a very sarcastic tone of what money can do, and how saying that everything needs money nowadays. Us and Them. This is probably the most emotional song on the album besides The Great Gig in the Sky. Us and Them is fan-freaking-tastic. 7 minutes. Love the vocals on this song, and I think a pretty underrated song in Pink Floyd's catalog. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Any Color You Like, I'm not crazy about this song. It is just like a 3.5-minute instrumental, but I actually think it's the least important song on this album. I don't really know what its deal is, if I'm being honest with you. And then we're gonna go Brain Damage, another very underrated song off this album. Kind of gives off Us and Them vibes, but a little bit of a better tone. And then I'm not gonna lie, the outro Eclipse should have been, they should have been conjoined together. Actually, I feel like there actually is a release of this album where they combine Speak to Me and Breathe and Brain Damage and Eclipse, so the album's only 8 songs long. Should be 7 songs, because I don't know why Any Color You Like's on here. But let me guys know, what do you guys think of Any Color You Like? Track 7, I think, on this album. I think it's But anyways, that's going to be my very, very short, in-depth review about Dark Side of the Moon. This is my very first album review that I don't have anything written down in front of me. Usually I have paper. I mean, I guess I did have this bad boy, but I just felt like I could do this off the top of my head because I heard this album twice, last night and today. But anyways, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, I think it's actually my favorite Pink Floyd album, but I don't think it's their best. I don't think it's their best album, but this album is a damn good album. This album, Dark Side of the Moon, is going to get a 9.4 out of 10. 9.4 out of 10. A near masterpiece. A near masterpiece. I could nitpick and say, Any Color You Like, but 9.4 out of 10. Amazing album. Anyways, that's going to be all for today's quick little album review. I don't like to do the same video twice in a row, but I guess we had that Sun review. I'm waiting until it rains. But anyways, football is soon, guys. You do not want to miss my channel during football season. There's going to be predictions. There's going to be recaps. There's going to be some other stuff. But my fear is I don't want to turn into a full football channel, okay? It's going to be hard for me to not do that because I'm a huge NFL fan. And I can talk about NFL literally until someone stops me. It's just, it's just how I was raised. I am going to be doing that, like I just said, the NFL stuff, the predictions and all that, and there's going to be some special guests as well. That's right, I'm going to be starting collabs, especially during football season. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we're definitely going to be starting doing that. I will also be doing maybe one other random video. During the NFL season, I'll be doing other random videos, whether it be movie reviews, album reviews. I already have the next 2 videos planned, actually, for this channel. I don't know when they're going to take, but so I definitely want to try to look into doing another video during the week because the next video can't be done until end of next week. But yeah, so that's going to be all for today's video, and hope y'all enjoy. Once again, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. That sucks. I'm really glad we got to review one of his albums before he was gone. Paranoid's a good album. I think Master Reality's better, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole different video. That's going to do all for today's video, and see y'all in the next one. Peace.